So the tools you'll need to pull it is 3 pliers. A needle nose helps to have a curved one, and there's regular pliers. You want a screwdriver, preferably one bigger than this, but it's one we got right now. And you can use this or else a ratchet. Then a few socket sizes is a 10 mil, a 12, and then a wobbly 12. And then Allens that are 6, 5, and 4. 2 wrenches, a 10 mil and a 12 mil, and multiple sizes of extensions. This is a 3, this is like a 1.5, and so forth. And then also a chain. That's it. Okay, so we're gonna pull an engine out of a Yamaha EX Deluxe. The 2017s on up to 2022 is all the same on the EX and VXs. The VXs, the difference is they have a bit more room, and of course taking the top plastic part is a little different. But so to start with, and then you pull the seat off. Pull this part out. And then this part I use to stick all the bolts in. It helps keep everything nice and organized. And then we'll take these side things off. They are a 4mm Allen wrench. And every bolt is unique, so you can't really stick it in the wrong place.
Okay.
And maybe you can, but it's easy to remember where they go. And then we'll take this top plastic part off, which is a 6mm Allen. We got 2 on the back, 2 on the side, and 2 on the front. This bolt right here is an aftermarket. I'm gonna try and grab a 5mm.
Good.
So we are pulling this engine because it got hydrolocked and broke the bottom. One way you can know that is you see all this oil. It's loaded with oil. Also, you can see physically from the top. So most of the times it doesn't explode this bad, but you can even see up at the top, and you can feel at the bottom. And it's typically number 3 that breaks.
Number 3 cylinder?
Yeah, number 3 cylinder. Because as the engine or the wave runner goes up, and then the water goes to the back first.
Good.
So first thing you do, you get your 10mm, and you take the battery off. Both leads on the battery. I don't really need to take the positive off. We'll do it anyways. And then you also use a 10 to take this bolt off. That's a little tight.
And it's this bolt right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one bolt that holds this on. There's one bolt and then there's two rubber parts. Just stick this back. And then you are done with the 10. You don't need it anymore.
Okay.
And next you go to 12. So we're just going to take the exhaust off. On the EXs, the top bolts, you can take them out all the way, but the bottom ones will hit the side, which is fine. You don't really need to take them out all the way. And these do better if you use not extensions. I guess not deep sockets, but just regular sockets. Maybe before that we should take out all the plugs. These zippy ties are reusable, so don't cut them off. There's this little tab right here. Push it back and then easily just take them off. It's really nice because then you don't have to get another zippy tie. But you typically have one on here, two on here, one on the side. And another one. This is right here. And then there's these plugs. The way you take this style of plug off is you push this part up and you just pull this out.
Okay.
You got a couple plugs like that. That one, and then this one as well. Pull this up, pull it out. And these just all come out. Same deal with the wires. You can't really stick them in the wrong place. All the plugs are different. This plug's a little difficult. Same with this one. This one's kind of nice to use needle nose pliers. But we're just unplugging all the electrical to start with. And you got this plug right here. This plug right here. And every plug is used, so if you're especially when you're putting it back together and you notice there's a plug that's not plugged in, it goes somewhere. And then there's another plug right here on this, whatever that thing is called. And then another one right here. This plug goes to the forward and reverse. If you have a sport or no reverse, then you won't have these plugs. And this one goes to the alternator. Oh, geez. This one's a little difficult sometimes. And you got another one. I don't know, we'll maybe get to that last one. We could do this one. And then there's another one right here. And that's all the plugs. So some on right here, and then some on the intake manifold. That's it. And then, so we'll start taking the exhaust manifold off, which is a 12 millimeter. See, these ones, you'll hit the wall up. That's fine, you just leave it. And that's all the bolt. I guess we got one more right here. I guess you want a short extension for this part. And then taking the exhaust off. This is all you need to take off. You don't need to take these clamps off. These have like a part that goes clear to here. You can just push it over. It is probably good to, so I typically reuse the exhaust manifold gaskets. Sometimes these guide pins will fall, but hopefully they won't. And then you also use a 12 millimeter for, so we're going to do a circle. We'll take the exhaust manifold off, the air filter box off, and then the intake manifold. This is also a 12. It's held on by 4 bolts. Okay, when I get the bottom one, I like to use the 3-inch extension, and then it's gonna go. And you can't see the bolt, but you can feel it. But there's some at the very bottom corner. There's 2 at each bottom corner. Now the air box is off. And now we'll do the intake manifold. It's also 12, and you want to use again the 3-inch extension. You have 2 acorn bolts or nuts at the top. So 2 acorn nuts, 2 bolts, and that's all the ones at the top. But you also have 2 at the bottom. One right here. This one you can't really see, but it's on this bottom corner. It's really slippery due to all the oil. Yeah, this corner one is definitely the hardest to get to. Change sides. And then it has to have a longer screwdriver, but you have your one hose clamp. It's just a flathead screwdriver. And then you don't need to take the fuel line off unless you're fine with the smell of gas, but I usually just leave it on and then scoot it to the side. And then you'll need to take a few things off. There's a hose clamp right here for like the, what is it, PCV breather hose. Lift that up, pull it up. And you'll need a 10mm probably gear wrench for this starter bolt. I'll grab one of those, but I don't have one right now. But in the meantime, we'll get the hose clamps off. You got one right here. This one. On this one. The one that's the hardest is one right here. The way that this metal thing has it. Oh, sideways. Okay, there we go. And then you have another. You have this one. So this one's easiest to get with regular pliers like this. Let me just push this out of the way. I'll just spin the hose. This one sometimes could be hard to pull out. And then I pulled this one. This one's nice to have some angle pliers. And you just grab the clamp right here. That's all the hoses. Next we're gonna do the engine mount bolts. So for the back left one, I get a 12 wobbly and some fairly long extensions. And if these have never been pulled, these bolts are really tight. They have Loctite and they're tight all the way until you're at the last 1 or 2 threads. It's crazy. This is one of your indicators on if it's been changed before. Yeah, maybe this one hasn't been pulled before. It's a little tight. Maybe it has been changed. I don't know. Yeah, these bolts, sometimes it feels like you're gonna rip the rubber. Okay, that one's out. And you don't really necessarily need a wobbly for these front ones, but it's already on there, so I'll just use it. And again, it's a 12 millimeter. We got the front right. And then the rear right, use a gear wrench Also, again, 12 millimeter. You can't really get to it with the extensions. I think this is the original engine. Need is a 12, or I guess a 10 millimeter gear wrench, and then just chain to lift it out. But yeah, that's it.
Where is that last one?
The last one is back of the starter.
Okay.
This is the only place you need a 10 millimeter gear wrench.
And then after that, you can pull it.
Yep, that's the only things you need to take off. That's it. No more.
Nice. What is that?
It's supposed to go to the bottom of the pan. Let me help these guys. Now hurry and grab the chain.
Okay.
So it's got a 10 mil. Take off the starter bolt. And this nut, actually, it likes to get lost, so I just stick it back on along with this washer. Alright, and then it probably doesn't matter if the bolts for the air intake, actually it probably does, because they're a little bit longer. But the black ones go up top, the silver ones go at the bottom. So when you hook your chain up, you hook to the back right here, and then the sides. So I'll just stick these bolts back in. You know, I'm almost all the way back in. And then also, I think if this engine has been pulled before, so there's a zippy tie at the bottom right here, but I'm not seeing any zippy ties. That zippy tie is very difficult to get to. Usually put all the zippy ties back on that was originally on there, but not that one, because it's just too much pain. Clear the sides. and just double check, make sure everything is for sure on hook. Looks like it. And next you just pull it out. Okay. When you pull it out, you got to pull it forward a little bit to unhook it from here. The rods break, and then they just go around spinning, destroying everything. Like this one did. You can't even use that block, obviously.
You just scrap it.
Yep. The head's probably good, but not the block.
Hmm. Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know. See, this is that zippy tie that's real hard to get to.
Okay, so that's still on there?
Yep.
You just bust it off.
This engine is original. And it is at, I wonder how many hours it's at. But the battery's unhooked, so I can't really tell.
Right.
Probably it's close to 1,000 though.
1,000 hours?
Just about.
Okay, so you just get a new engine, reinstall?
Yep.
Sounds good.